Welcome to a special edition of the Feast of the Holy Family. This feast was instituted by Pope Leo XIII in the year 1893. Let us look at the liturgical readings of this feast day. The first reading, taken from the wisdom book Sirach, chapter 3, speaks of a duty of a child towards his or her parents. One of the commandments is to honor your father and your mother, and scripture says, "Honor your father and your mother as the Lord your God commanded you, that your days may be prolonged and that it may go well with you in the land which the Lord your God gives you." St. Paul reiterates the same command in Ephesians chapter 6, saying that it is the only commandment with a promise. Jesus too condemned the actions of the scribes and Pharisees in Mark chapter 7 because of the way they dishonored their parents. Now you may ask, what if there are parents, or what if my parent is bad and I am asked to do something morally wrong? Now the Catechism teaches us that we must not obey. In fact, the Catechism lists the duties of a child towards his or her parent and the duties of parents. You may want to have a look at it. God knew there would be bad parents who would fail to image his relationship as a divine loving father. However, having a bad parent does not negate the command to behave in a caring and respectful manner to one's parents. Jesus' statement supports our passage in Sirach in that one who truly reveres God will respect and care for his parents, because it is a standard of behavior that God asks of those who love him. The responsory psalm, taken from Psalm 128, the response is, "Blessed are those who fear the Lord and walk in his ways." In this psalm, we have the promise that God will faithfully bless those who fear him. His blessing includes a happy home life, prosperity, a fertile spouse, and abundant children. I am very strongly convicted of the fact that when you fear God and live constantly in grace, these graces and blessings flow into your family. God counts on you so that you may be a channel of grace and blessing to your family. The second reading, taken from Colossians chapter 3, St. Paul lists a Christian behavior towards one's neighbor as well as within one's family. The gospel reading, taken from Matthew chapter 2, narrates the Holy Family's flight to Egypt and their return. We see Joseph being obedient to the voice of God and his role of protecting the family from danger. Joseph, being the head of the family, he provided for his family. We know that Saint Joseph, in fact, the Holy Family was poor. Saint Joseph is described in Greek as tekton. The Greek word is tekton, which is translated as carpenter, but it is better translated as artisan. So a tekton is anyone who is involved in physical construction and repair. So Joseph may have worked with stone, wood, metal, cement, clay, and other substances. The words technology and architecture are all related to the Greek word tekton. Now, Joseph was a hard worker, and God chose him to be the human father of Jesus and Mary to be Jesus' mother. Jesus could have come into this earth without the need for a human father or a mother. He would have just appeared. But he chose to become flesh and be part of a family to teach us the importance of family as being the domestic church. We see Jesus' obedience to his parents when he was lost in the temple. And we also see later at the wedding feast of Cana, Mary initiates Jesus' public ministry. The Catechism teaches us that Christ chose to be born and grow up in the bosom of the Holy Family of Joseph and Mary. The church is nothing other than the family of God. From the beginning, the core of the church was often constituted by those who had become believers together with all their household. When they were converted, they desired that their whole household also be saved. These families who became believers were islands of Christian life in an unbelieving world. In our own time, in a world often alien and even hostile to faith, believing families are of primary importance as centers of living, radiant faith. For this reason, the Second Vatican Council, using an ancient expression, calls the family the Ecclesia Domestica, which is the domestic church. It is in the bosom of the family that parents are by word and example the the first heralds of the faith with respect to their children. They should encourage them in the vocation which is proper to each child, fostering with special care any religious vocation. It is here that the father of the family, the mother, children, and all the members of the family exercise the priesthood of the baptized in a privileged way by the reception of the sacraments, prayer, and thanksgiving, the witness of a holy life, and self denial and active charity. Thus, the home is the first school of Christian life and a school for human enrichment. Here, one learns endurance and the joy of work, fraternal love, generous, even repeated forgiveness, and above all, divine worship in prayer and the offering of one's life. We must also remember the great number of single persons who, because of the particular circumstances in which they have to live, often not of their choosing, are especially close to Jesus' heart and therefore deserve the special affection and active solicitude of the church, especially of pastors. Many remain without a human family, often due to conditions of poverty. Some live their situation in the spirit of beatitude, serving God and neighbor in exemplary fashion. The doors of homes, the domestic churches, and of the great family, which is the church, must be open to all of them. No one is without a family in this world. The church is a home and family for everyone, especially those who labor and are heavy laden. This passage from the Catechism of the Catholic Church is self-explanatory. You will fully agree with me that it is in the family that we are tested, we mature, and we exercise our faith. See, we can wear masks in the world, but within the family, we can't. We get exposed because it's in the family that we especially mature in the fruit of the Spirit, namely self-giving or sacrificial love, joy, peace, patience, talk about that, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Evils such as divorce, fornication, pornography, abortion, same-sex marriage, contraception, etc. If you carefully notice, all these evils are targeted by the enemy towards the unity of a family. The evil one will do anything to break a family. He did that with Adam and Eve, but he was helpless against the Holy Family. Since the family is a domestic church, it is here where the faith is nourished first, not in the catechism class. No matter how much our kids learn the faith in the church or at the meetings, the faith matures within the family. It is a challenge and a great responsibility for parents to bring up their kids in the faith and their virtues. Children look up to their parents as role models. So, on this feast day, let us therefore consecrate our families to the Holy Family of Nazareth. May the Holy Family of Nazareth be the role model for our families. I wish you all a blessed feast of the Holy Family.